Column number 68. Renaissance. Longing for Greece and Rome. Part 1. The Middle Ages, a Chunibyo dream, or a edgy teen dream gone Gothic. Middle Ages, middle school vibes. When the Roman Empire split in 395, or when the western half collapsed in 476, everyone felt an era ending. But who could have imagined the wisdom of antiquity would be forgotten for 1,000 years? The Holy Roman Empire, Holy Roman Empire, really? Took shape when Pope Leo III crowned Charlemagne in 800, later echoed when Pope John XII crowned Otto I in 962. In the 11th century, Pope Gregory VII excommunicated Emperor Henry IV, forcing him to kneel barefoot at Canossa. Then Pope Urban II thundered the call for the First Crusade. This was the medieval dream at its peak, papal power triumphant, the 12th century Renaissance in bloom, Arthur's knights chasing the Grail, Aquinas penning the Summa Theologica. A Christian worldview covered the age like a dream, wrapping the world in faith and symbol. But the dream shattered. The Crusades mostly failed. In the 13th century, Mongols stormed into Eastern Europe, and Russia fell under the dreaded Tatar yoke. And in 1453, Constantinople fell, extinguishing the Byzantine flame. The dream looked to be over, suddenly and brutally. A teenage fantasy of faith and swords, glorious, reckless, and bound to break. Part 2. From Alexandria to the allure of Baghdad. From lighthouse to minarets. Imagine the Mediterranean breeze, Roman galleys docking, the lighthouse of Alexandria or the Pharos of Alexandria blazing. This is Egypt, at the Nile River estuary. Inside the Mouseion and its great library, scrolls preserved the brilliance of Greece and Rome. Alexandria, city of Alexander, jewel of the Ptolemies, Cleopatra's stage, Rome's annex, still brimming with learning. But in the 4th century, waves of Christian fervor struck pagan temples, and with them, much ancient knowledge was lost. Second, in the 7th century, Islamic conquerors carried what survived eastward. In Baghdad, at the House of Wisdom, Greek thought was reborn in Arabic robes. Here, the so-called Islamic Golden Age flourished. Astronomy charted the stars, medicine advanced, and mathematics deployed the Indian invention of zero into a fully fledged decimal system. For a while, Baghdad was the intellectual capital of the world. Knowledge never dies. It only moves house, still chasing truth and God's will. Part 3. From Constantinople to the allure of Florence. Byzantium's brain drain. Ironically, Europeans rediscovered Aristotle and Ptolemy not from Greece, but via Arabic translations, funneled into Latin at Toledo. The stage was set for a rebirth of the humanism older than Christianity itself. The 14th century Renaissance was a cultural revival 1.0, overflowing with humanity under the broad-minded polytheistic gods of ancient Greece and Rome. By the 14th century, Dante dreamed his Divine Comedy, and Petrarch's humanism lit the way. When Constantinople finally collapsed in 1453, Greek scholars fled west to Florence, carrying manuscripts and memory. Was this providence, or just history's irony? My God, why have you forsaken me? The eternal question with no answer. Florence burst alive. Botticelli painted the birth of Venus. Michelangelo carved the Pietà and the David, and Da Vinci sketched flying machines and painted the Last Supper. Humanism meant seeing people in their raw, vivid reality, before the veil of theology. Soon, the Reformation cracked Christendom, but escape from old culture was, and is, exceedingly difficult, tumbling Europe into the fateful 17th century. Florence turned exile into genius, and rebirth into revolution. Part 4. From Rome to the dream of the modern world. Pope, paint, and power plays. 1453 also marked the end of the 100 Years' War between England and France. Joan of Arc had burned, kings consolidated power, transitioning from feudal society to absolute monarchy. And Spain and Portugal opened the seas, countering the Eastern autocracy of the Ottoman Empire. Rome, meanwhile, raised its skyline anew. The popes patronized artists. Bramante, Raphael, and Michelangelo reshaped St. Peter's Basilica, while Michelangelo's Sistine ceiling thundered with creation. Raphael's School of Athens placed Plato, Aristotle, Euclid, and Pythagoras in one painted debate, a dream of free inquiry and classical grandeur. This was no mere nostalgia. It was Europe's deep longing for Rome, its order, its power, its art, recast as the Renaissance. Respect, awe, and envy, a wailing cry rising up, or a longing forgotten. The early modern world was taking shape. Rome never died. It just reinvented itself in fresco and marble. Part 5. The Modern Ages. A Shonibyo disease or a childhood's wild ride. Modernity throws a tantrum. A historical coincidence or inevitability? By the 15th century, the Mongols had fractured, Zheng He's Chinese fleets sailed grandly but lacked sustained imperial support, and the Ottomans still surged strong into the 17th before their long decline. The great Asian empires, Qing and Ottoman, faced weakening by the 19th. They were pre-modern powers, without the emerging European idea of the sovereign nation-state. Europe, meanwhile, charged ahead, from absolute monarchies to modern states, from subjects to citizens, a new political creature was born. The modern world system cried its first wails in 16th century Europe, with all the naive confidence of a child discovering its strength. Behold the unbridled freedom of unleashed free will. At heart, this was still a longing for Rome, for empire, order, glory. That Roman current kept flowing, unseen, through every conquest and constitution. Triremes once sliced the Aegean and Adriatic, white wakes gleaming toward the horizon. The waves still rise and fall, chasing sunlight across 2,000 years. Modernity was childhood with cannons, innocent in belief, dangerous in play. Part 6. Epilogue as monologue. Longing as humanity's oldest habit. Yes, I've called the Middle Ages a chunibyo dream, and modernity a shonibyo disease. Quick reference. The first is a phase of adolescent delusion, like a teenage fantasy. The second, a childish ailment of overconfidence. Maybe intuition fits. Adolescents learn limits. Children throw tantrums and test power. And still, we long. Longing for some truth just out of reach. Longing, or akogare, has always been the hidden engine, nostalgia, but also aspiration, a hunger for the blue bird of happiness we suspect is near but never hold. Call it universal, call it eternal, call it another round of the universals debate. Longing, or akogare, itself may be the truest inheritance, an eternal adolescence of the human soul. Libraries are as the shrines of the ancient saints, full of true virtue, where all that is preserved lies without delusion, or imposture. Francis Bacon. Yes, yes, yes. A river runs through it. The flowing river never stops. And yet the water is never the same water as before. No one ever steps in the same river twice, for it's not the same river, and they're not the same souls. Do you get it, huh? Nah, you don't, do you? Huh? Shabba-dabba-da-daddy! Yeah,